What's up everyone and welcome back to VOWS for boxing news. Isaac Cruz pulled out of Ryan Garcia fight. Isaac Pitbull Cruz did not agree to the fight against Ryan Garcia in May because he was scheduled for a clash on February 1st. According to Cruz's advisor Sean Gibbons, Isaac Cruz believed that agreeing to a major fight against Ryan Garcia with another bout yet to be fought was bad luck, so he withdrew from the golden opportunity. Gibbons spoke to Boxing Scene. Isaac Pitbull Cruz would absolutely love to fight Ryan Garcia, but with the timing of this coming out as Pitbull is scheduled to fight February 1st, he didn't feel comfortable negotiating another fight and turning his attention to that fight too. It was bad luck in his eyes. Gibbon mentioned another fighter, Jaime Munguia, who fought in December even though he had bigger fights coming up. Munguia ended up losing that fight, Gibbons said. It's bad luck to him. He's seen Jaime Munguia take a December fight when he had bigger fights awaiting him against guys like Edgar Berlanga and Caleb Plant, and Munguia got knocked out. You need to concentrate on what's in front of you. Pitbull said that because of the timing of his fight, he has to wait before he can talk about fighting another popular boxer named Ryan Garcia, but he believes that if they do fight, he would win easily. Gibson added, "So Pitbull let us know that, unfortunately, due to the timing, he has to wait after this first fight. After that, he's happy to discuss all the details because, again, it's a fact that he believes he would knock Ryan Garcia dead." Turki Alalshikh has just announced that Ryan Garcia will fight Rolando Raleigh Romero, Devin Haney faces Jose Ramirez, and Martin Bakole battles Ife Ajagba on the same card in May, His Excellency wrote on X. The Ring magazine is excited to announce its first boxing card in USA this May 2025. The card includes 3 fights: Ryan Garcia versus Rolando Romero, Devin Haney versus Jose Carlos Ramirez, Martin Bakole versus Efe Ajagba. Further details about venue and exact date will be announced later. Stay tuned. Raleigh Romero is a surprise for Ryan's opponent because Isaac Pitbull Cruz had been the name that he was rumored to be fighting. Salvador Rodriguez of ESPN Knockout reports that a no financial agreement could be reached with Isaac Cruz. Hence, Raleigh was recruited as the opponent for Ryan Garcia. Cruz knocked out Raleigh in the 8th round last year on March 30th in a title mismatch. For Ryan to be fighting Raleigh, it suggests that he doesn't want to take any risks of losing with him coming off his long 13-month layoff. Salvador Rodriguez wrote on X. Unfortunately for Pitbull Cruz, there was no financial agreement. Raleigh Romero stepped in. The promotion for the fight in May is going to be good. We are waiting for details about Times Square or the arena where the battle will take place. Ryan Garcia obviously looks a bit foolish, with him most recently announcing to the world that he would be facing Rolando Raleigh Romero in his next outing. Garcia has been back and forth with a number of different potential opponents in recent months, and he claims that he's not trying to fool the public, but rather it's him who's been deceived. Garcia posted on X, "Look, I was informed the deal with Romero was finalizing and it would be announced in the coming days. Obviously that was a lie. My patience has been tested the last few weeks. I'm trying my best to be as honest and real as I can to you guys. I'll be looking forward to announcing my next fight. I'm not gonna say anything until it's actually signed and delivered. I still look forward to putting on a big PPV for Daz and Boxing. Have a blessed day." If this sounds vaguely familiar, it's because Garcia also made the exact same claim about a prospective fight with Manny Pacquiao a few years back. For now, we'll have to wait and see what next presents itself for Garcia. Moving on next, Terence Crawford vows to Canelo Alvarez. The potential fight in September between Saul Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford could become one of the most interesting fights of the last decade. Turki Alalshikh is credited with the fight as he recently held a meeting with Canelo to discuss business and a multi-million-dollar purse for Mexican fighters' next fights. However, the biggest question is not the fight itself, but the weight difference between the two fighters. Several experts in the boxing world, and even some former world champions such as Mike Tyson, are wondering what the southpaw from Alabama will have to do to match Canelo's weight, 2 categories above, and a difference of 14 pounds between them. Mikey Garcia, who is the younger brother of Ring Magazines, told Fight Hub TV that he did not fully support the fight, despite being one of the most desired by fans of the sport.
I'm not a big fan of that fight matchmaking because they're too many weight classes apart. And although the skills, Crawford is one of the best fighters that I've seen. I told him yesterday when I met him up last night there at the dinner, I'm like, dude, you're a badass. Like, you've been badass. You don't always get the recognition because of, you know, politics and boxing and the favoritism here and there. But he truly does have the skills, and he's a great fighter. He's proven it multiple times, obviously.
He believes the size and power difference will be the deciding factor, with Canelo having the advantage. He believes Crawford is a highly skilled fighter, but thinks Canelo's size and power would give him the advantage.
Now, Canelo is, you know, fighting at 168. Crawford just moved up to 154, and he had some trouble with that in that fight. Now, where do you plan on going? 164, 65, 66? Canelo ain't gonna come down to 160.
Yeah,
Canelo ain't gonna come down, you know, maybe 166 max if he accepts. I think Canelo wins that fight based on just the size, you know, power and size. Now, skill-wise, I think Crawford's a better skilled fighter, but the difference in size will be the deciding factor, and that's why I'm not even a fan of that fight. I think Crawford has accomplished everything he had to accomplish from 140, 147, now 154. That's even greater for him. He wants to do something, collect belts at 154, he can attempt that. But there's no money in that compared to the Canelo fight. And Canelo is trying to fight other guys, and you know, at that point it's more of a big fight, you know, for the money that's gonna generate. But as a fight fan, I'm not really a fan of that matchmaking.
Moving on next, Jai Opetaia on Oleksandr Usyk fight. Jai Opetaia says he'd love to test himself against Oleksandr Usyk if a fight with the heavyweight king presents itself, but there will be options, and the unbeaten top cruiserweight isn't putting all his eggs in any one basket for now. He said, an Usyk fight is something I'd take with both hands. A fight like that, it's a massive opportunity for myself. Opetaia is currently looking to emulate Usyk by becoming the undisputed cruiserweight champion. Asked if he would jump at the chance to take on Usyk in a heavyweight clash if an opportunity arose, Opetaia said, respect to Usyk, I think he's one of the best fighters of our generation, but I'd love to test myself and move up there. I would love that fight. I'm chasing unification fights, so hopefully one of those. Usyk promoter Alex Krasik talked to Sky Sports at an awards show. He believes that he might fight the winner of another match between Daniel Dubois and Joseph Parker, which is for a title in the heavyweight division. He also said he might go back to a lighter weight class called cruiserweight. Krasik added, you never know. I have no idea. We have no idea. Now it's time to relax. It's time to take a rest, and then after Dubois fights Parker, which I think Parker is going to win, we just don't know what's going to happen next. So now it's just time for relaxing. Moving on next, Teddy Atlas breaks down on Morrell versus Benavidez. Teddy Atlas discusses the thrilling fight between undefeated David Morrell and David Benavidez, both with strong amateur backgrounds, with Morrell quickly rising to the professional ranks.
That is an interesting fight, and you know why it's interesting? It's a dangerous fight for both guys. Number one, very dangerous fight. Both of them were terrific amateurs, undefeated as pros. I mean, Morrell comes from the legendary Cuban national team, you know, in the Olympics, everything else. He won a world title.
According to Atlas, Morrell's rapid rise is comparable to that of heavyweight champions Leon Spinks and Roman Gonzalez, who both won the belt after just a few bouts. These instances demonstrate that Morrell belongs to a select group of fighters with extraordinary talent.
Like only a few special fighters have, you know, guys like Lomachenko, Rigon Dial, you know, who else? There's been a few, but a handful of guys that could win a title in 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fights, which he did. So, hey, don't forget, I know people don't give him enough respect, but he really should get it. I can't help but say it. I like people getting respect than they should. I really do. Leon Spinks, you know, he beat Ali. After what, 9 fights, whatever it was, short period of fights.
Atlas claims that the substantial danger that both boxers are incurring is what distinguishes this battle. Morrell and Benavidez have decided to engage in a high-stakes struggle rather than wait for a simpler, more profitable chance. What really makes this fight unique is their readiness to step up and take on such a difficult task, even though the possible benefits are uncertain.
So, it's two guys in there that have the future in front of them in their career, and they're taking a risk. They're both taking a big risk. That's what, for me, that's what makes this fight so special. Their talents, their undefeated records, what's at stake, right? All of that. But that they're taking a risk when a lot of the fighters wouldn't. They'd say, no, I'm going to wait for a bigger fight. I'm going to, not a bigger fight as far as danger, but a bigger fight as far as maybe a payday or, whatever it could be. But you got a guy like Morrell. Not all those kind of fighters at this stage of their career would go and take on a dangerous fight against a guy like Benavidez.
After missing a major bout with Canelo Alvarez, Atlas commends Benavidez for not sitting around. Benavidez is displaying true bravery and will by taking on Morrell rather than waiting for a less formidable foe.
Benavidez, and Benavidez, give him all the credit in the world. Like goodness, him and his father, give them credit that they didn't get the Canelo fight. They're right in line for the winner of Bivol and Benavidez. And what do? They just sit around and twiddle their thumbs, or sit around and fight a soft touch? No, they take this. So I'm chomping at the bit. I'm really curious for that fight.
Yet Joon-Kim ready to upset Inoue. Naoya Inoue will defend his undisputed super bantamweight title this weekend against Joon-Kim, who is ready to shock the world. Inoue will face Joon-Kim after his initial opponent, Sam Goodman, pulled out twice. He suffered a cut in sparring, which meant the initial December 24th date was rescheduled for January 24. But the cut was a cause for concern again as Joon-Kim stepped in. Inoue is undefeated with a 28-0 record. 25 of his wins are by way of knockout. Joon-Kim believes he can beat Inoue. He thinks Inoue has never fought someone like him before. He said, "I don't think Inoue has ever faced a fighter like me before, and I can imagine what he's thinking right now, but I want to say that he's completely wrong. I think he will understand when we get in the ring and we exchange punches for the first time. I've been studying him for a long time, and I practice as if I'm going to face him. All my practice and all my fighting patterns are based on fighting Inoue." Furthermore, they too came on the road, meaning that after having 19 of his first 21 contests in South Korea, Kim has fought his past 4 consecutive bouts overseas. He says of the recent run that has seen him perform in Mexico, the United States, Australia, and Thailand. "I enjoy fighting in different places. It makes for great experiences. Meeting different cultures, new people, and seeing different places has added to my appreciation of boxing around the world." What a monstrous upset it really would be if Joon-Kim managed to shock the world, Buster Douglas style. Moving on next. Turki Alalshikh wants Joshua versus Wilder fight. Turki Alalshikh wants to set up a fight between Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder.
I want to see Joshua and Wilder now. If Tyson is not available, why not Joshua and Wilder?
Saudi boxing promoter Turki Alalshikh suggests a fight between Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder, despite both being past their primes. Alalshikh believes this would attract worldwide interest and follow the UFC model, as top fighters can still return and entertain boxing fans even if they lose fights.
I want to tell you, sir, and this is what bothered me in boxing in the last 10 years. After the Mayweather generation, all the fighters care about not losing in their career, and this is not right. You see the models of the UFC, the champions lose and win. And this is the normal.
Anthony Joshua has no confirmed opponent, and promoter Eddie Hearn has outlined conditions for a fight between him and Deontay Wilder. Hearn plans to wait for the Daniel Dubois versus Joseph Parker fight, but this is not their priority, and he says, "To be honest, we're not targeting this fight right now because we're only looking at matches with Tyson Fury or the winner of the Dubois-Parker fight. But if neither of those options materializes, we'll fight Wilder, Bacol, the winner of Kabayel Gillet, or Dillian White." He added that Turki Alalshikh is also open to the likes of Wilder, Jang, Parker, Usyk, and Tyson Fury.
I just think that AJ is just up for fighting everybody. And when he gets asked the questions about people, his immediate reaction is, yeah, I'd love that fight. Like, he'd love to fight Wilder. He'd love to fight Zhang. He'd love to rematch Parker. He'd love to fight Usyk again. Of course, he wants to fight Tyson Fury. He's fighting Dubois. He would have fought Hrgovic. don't care. He'll fight anybody. And
Eddie mentioned Anthony Joshua was close to signing off for a fight against Wilder, but negotiations broke down, and the fight was already signed on just minutes before the announcement.
you know, he always wanted to fight Deontay Wilder. Obviously, we signed that fight, and we were half an hour away from announcing it. But it wasn't to be. But I'm not sure if Wilder will fight again.
Eddie Hearn believes Deontay Wilder is nearing retirement, but is uncertain about his willingness to return due to recent losses. Wilder may have 2 fights before retirement, but Anthony Joshua is willing to fight anyone if the opportunity arises.
For me, I think he's a win or 2 away for putting himself in a hat with Anthony Joshua. But you know, AJ don't care who he fights. He's just up for competing.
Deontay Wilder believes Anthony Joshua faces a potential blockbuster fight, but the negotiations between the 2 teams have been hot and cold. Despite the complexity of logistics, Wilder remains puzzled as to why the fight hasn't been achieved yet. He believes this is the closest negotiations have gotten.
The biggest fight in the world. It's been that way for a very long time, and it still is now. You know, that fight has been a situation where it's been hot and cold. You know, and every time the talks happen, it always get back hot, you know, and then somehow it'll die back down. You know, I know the how, but you know, it'll die back down. It don't happen. But now the moment has came where it's the closest that it's ever been in history right now.
Wilder adds that with situations like these, nothing is set in stone, so even though he is hopeful that a fight against AJ will happen, you can never be sure until the start bell rings.
You know, the closest that it's ever been, and I'm excited to say that for that most part. I'm not 100% sure that it's gonna happen. You know, it's a lot of things that has went on, a lot of things that has been done, but you can't be 100% until that bell rings and that first punch is being thrown.
Meanwhile, Turki Alalshikh expresses his disappointment over Tyson Fury's retirement news, explaining that even the great Muhammad Ali lost 5 times in his legendary career. Turki, however, proposes the prospect of AJ versus Wilder, claiming it to be just as appealing a matchup for the British market. He explains that if Fury is refusing to come out of retirement to face AJ, then the Wilder fight will be their next priority.
Even in the all-time in the boxing, Muhammad Ali losing more than 5 times, all the great fighters losing and winning, and this is what must be in the mind of each fighter. If you want something about the British market, I want to see Joshua and Wilder now. If Tyson is not available, why not Joshua and Wilder?
Turki also discusses the possibility of Anthony Joshua fighting Martin Bakol, claiming he personally wants to make that fight happen as well, and adds that the venue for that bout should be in Africa. He says, "We finished the fight between Bakol and the Nigerian fighter Ajagba. After that, we want to see Joshua against Bakol. Me, I want to see this fight. Do you know where I want to see it? I want to see it in Africa." So that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos.